when we first hear that parable of the dishonest steward, our sense of justice is bent out of shape because we think, how could Jesus be praising somebody who is dishonest? This man who was a con artist, basically is being praised at the end of the parable. Well, we just heard the parable, but let me just emphasize what's going on here. There's a rich man. He has a steward that is like a manager who's handling all of his properties, he's handling all of his affairs, and he finds out that this steward, this manager, is stealing from him. So he calls him in to give a full account of his stewardship. Now, when the man figures out that his master now knows what's happened, now we would say his light bulb, goes off in his mind, and he devises a plan so that he won't have to beg. Because he says, I don't want to dig, I don't want to beg, and so he does it by stealing, by cheating, and by lying to his master's clients. And then, in the end, we hear that the rich man says that he praises the steward for what he did. Now, we have to understand one thing. The point that Jesus is trying to make in this parable. Jesus is not praising this man for his dishonesty. He's actually praising this man for his cleverness. He's shrewd, he's clever, he's astute. And what Jesus is saying is that when it comes to matters of the kingdom, we need to do the same. We need to be astute, we need to be clever, we need to be shrewd. And this is why Jesus ends the parable by saying, the children of the world are more astute than the children of light. In other words, what Jesus is attempting to say to us is that if we consider ourselves children of light, and I hope that we all do, then we need to be at least as shrewd, as smart, as savvy, as astute as the people of the world. Last weekend, we began a series of homilies, 3 homilies on stewardship and generosity. What I attempted to explain last weekend is that generosity is so much more than time, talent, treasure. That generosity needs to encompass all of our life. It is about being generous not only with time, talent, treasure, but also with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions, with our attention, with our influence. There's so many ways in which we can be generous. And this is the second homily of this 3-part series, and today I want to attempt to explain to you how my pastoral staff and myself try to be good stewards also for you. I found that it was the perfect weekend because a rich man calls in his manager to give account for his stewardship, and so I will give you also the stewardship of the parish as well. Let me give you a little background first as to how we got to where we are as a parish. A few years back, when I just arrived here 6 years ago, right after I arrived here, the Archbishop sent me and the rest of the pastors, all the new pastors that he had appointed, he sent me a book. The name of the book was Rebuilt. This book is a book by a priest who was in a sleepy parish in Baltimore. The name of the parish was Nativity. And this priest used his intellect, he used his cleverness, along with his pastoral staff, to wake up this parish and to bring it up to another level. So they went from about 1,000 families to over 5,000 families, and they just finished building a new church, so I'm sure that they continue to grow. Well, reading that book got me so enthusiastic about the new evangelization and parish renewal that I continue reading other resources as well. And another book that I came across is a book by Father James Mallon called Divine Renovation. I liked this book so much that I had my entire staff read that book during the summer. And also, the parish council, we have been reading 1 chapter at a time as well. This book is very similar to Rebuilt. The only difference is that this parish is not in the United States, but it's actually in Canada. But something similar happened also in that parish. And the priest writing that book tells the story of that parish and how they got to where they are. As we were doing more research on the new evangelization and ways to reach out and how to do it better, we also came across a website. The name of this website is called The Amazing Parish. And there we found plenty of resources. One of the resources that we found is the Amazing Parish online. which is a series of videos concerning how to make the parish even better. And so for about a year, at every staff meeting that we had after our business part of the meeting, we then would go on and watch one of the videos as staff and then discuss that video. But a year ago, a group of us went to a conference on the amazing parish, and we were able to get a lot of resources, and I would say a lot of tools also to use and to be clever, to be shrewd for the sake of the kingdom. We want to tell you all about it in our workshop that we're having next Saturday. You may have heard it announced. I have this little prop here, this little hat that says, I work for God, because we are going to be at work, and we're going to be at work for the Lord, for God. So I'm sure you may have seen, maybe coming in, you may have seen some caution tape there on the bulletin board that says God at work. And we have Mission Workshop 2.0. Why 2.0? I suppose that we have been in Mission 1.0 up until now, but now it's time to take it, to step it up a notch, right? And to continue to evangelize and to seek ways of doing it better. So we want to include the entire parish, because this is not something that we do on our side, but it's something that we all do together, you and us, along with parish staff, our leaders, everybody doing it together. And so that's next Saturday, the 28th. We'll begin with the Mass at 8:30, and then we'll move on to our workshop, which begins at 9 until 1:30. We'll feed you breakfast and lunch if you are SPP. So all you have to do is call the parish office and let us know that you're staying for lunch if you so wish. Well, one of the things that we learned in the Amazing Parish Conference that we thought was essential is the fact that the pastor cannot do it on his own. The pastor, it's a lot of weight to carry one parish all by oneself. So we discovered there that the pastor needs a team of trusted people that will work alongside with him in the management of the parish. So we began putting together what we call a strategic leadership team, and we call it a SLT for short. This is a small group of people made up of mostly staff members, and there you can see them on the screens. It's our strategic leadership team. To my left, you have my assistant, Helen, and then to her left, Olga Venegas, our DRE. To my right, we have Terry Perez, who was a school principal for 18 years and also director of development. And to her right is Ernie Sosa, who will be ordained to the diaconate on December 14th. And then right behind us, because he's tall and big, is Father Paul. And of course, so this comprises our strategic leadership team. And one of the things that we learned is that as we were doing this together, well, about a year ago, we put together a survey. Actually, Ernie did it. He needed it for a homework of his, but we figured we can use it for the entire parish. And one of the questions in the survey was, what do you think of Blessed Trinity's mission statement? And a lot of the responses was, we have a mission statement? But we compiled a lot of information. Over 200 people replied to that survey that we put out. And we got a lot of information, and we brought it to the parish council. We brought that to the staff. Later on, just recently, we had the ministry heads do a little workshop. In compiling all this information, we tried to put together a mission statement for Blessed Trinity that would be a lot simpler, that would be clear, not necessarily easy, but very simple and easy to remember. So we figured that a good way, from all the feedback that we got, to synthesize our mission would be, Blessed Trinity exists for what purpose? Well, to bring Christ to all. Now, in order for us to accomplish that, to bring Christ to all, we need some core values. These values are essential in what we do. So the first core value is to be discerning disciples. We want Blessed Trinity to be a community of praying men and women. Everything begins with prayer and ends with prayer. If we are not praying, if we're not asking constantly the Holy Spirit what the Holy Spirit is doing, then we cannot see what God is doing, how God is at work. So always we want to be discerning at all times and asking the Lord to guide us and to lead us in what He is doing. When we become a community of praying disciples, of course, we will be mission-oriented, which is our second core value. Everything will be geared towards the mission, which is to bring Christ to all. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by inviting people. So we also want to become a community that is always joyfully inviting people to come to Mass, inviting people to come to our conferences, inviting people to come to retreats, inviting people to come and join us. Why? Because we have discovered a great treasure in Christ, and we want to share that treasure with other people as well. So this is some ways in which we have been utilizing for the last few years our time, our gifts, our talents, our energy, but also we want to be good stewards of your treasure. We realize that many of you contribute to Blessed Trinity, and we know that many of you do so with great sacrifice, and for that we are grateful. Blessed Trinity is a generous community and has been known, has a reputation in the diocese for being generous. So we published last week, you should have gotten the Stewardship newsletter, and there we published our financial reports for both the church and for the school. You may have noticed that the church had a small deficit this past fiscal year. So we're encouraging parishioners this next 12 months, as we begin next week, Commitment Weekend, to increase your offertory collection. We're also encouraging everybody to become percentage givers. In other words, to give a little percentage of your income, beginning small perhaps, if you can tithe, right now, or if you're not there yet, but beginning small and then little by little increasing it. After all of that is for the missions. It is thanks to your generosity that we were able to hire a new youth minister, and thanks be to God, our youth groups are both going very well. In fact, at the end of Mass, you will be hearing the witness of one of our young members that is in Life Team that meets right after Mass for all high school students. And also, we are able to continue thriving with our ministries. We'll continue to grow in our ministries. We continue preaching the good news through retreats like Emmaus. We have Alpha now. And something that we want to roll out in the spring is a new retreat for young families who have small children, ages 3 to 11. A retreat for the entire family right here at Blessed Trinity called Impactos, which will be offered in English. So stay tuned for when you hear about this retreat, and hopefully we'll have many families join us in that endeavor. Now, on the side of the school is doing remarkably well, and we give glory to God for that. In fact, this year our enrollment is up by about 20 students from last year, which is the highest enrollment that Blessed Trinity School has had for the last decade. So we're very grateful to the Lord for that. We have 3 teachers that were chosen to be Notre Dame teaching fellows. And this program will bring many beautiful things to our school. And we continue doing really well there, to the point that our school has a reputation in the diocese and also has become a model for 21st century teaching and learning. So as I give you an account of our stewardship, my hope is that you think of your stewardship as well. How are you being generous with your time, with your talent, with your treasure, in every aspect of your life? Now, when it comes to our finances, some people have a hard time with their finances, organizing their finances, but it is important to remember that we shouldn't have any debt, that we should try to save a little bit of money for retirement, for an emergency perhaps, and also try to live generously as well.